Good evening, everybody, and welcome to 101, hosted by the ugly one, truly your host, James Mitchell. See, now, I know I've been away for a little bit. We had spring break, we had Easter, we had a Mueller report. We had a lot going on. And boy, do I mean we had a lot going on. So, as per usual, if you're watching this live, thank you very much. If you're watching this recorded, thank you very much. If you want to go ahead and leave your comments, tell me where you're watching from. Go ahead and give me some thumbs up, some hearts, some laughs, some wild faces. Give me all the good stuff. Let me know what's going on. This is an interactive forum. I love hearing people contact me back. And yes, big announcement, I am now on YouTube. Yes, I have now taken the previous videos and put them on YouTube. It's probably the way I'm going to go ahead and do it for now until I can make sure I can make the YouTube video interactive. I'm going to do a live test later this week, and we'll go through it that way. So, as already, I see the people are jumping on so fast. Thank you so much. I know I didn't really put what we're going to be talking about tonight. There's a lot that we could talk about. I mean, if the wrestling side of me, we could talk about the new Bray Wyatt. We could talk about politics. We could talk about the Mueller report. We could talk about the new Green Deal. We could talk about the Bernie Sanders, even criminals can vote. We could turn around and talk about jobs and is it okay to do unemployment on vacations, or some people like to talk about stealing time. There's a lot of stuff that we can talk about tonight. And with that, that's what's great about this forum, is that everybody can talk freely. And yes, there are subjects I will not talk about. If you make a comment that I am just not responding, that's one of the things. If I flat out tell you, sorry, got to move on, can't talk about that, that's what it's going to be. There's some stuff that I'm not going to talk about because of my current employment status. Got to be kind of careful about that, especially when you're a school bus driver driving special needs kids. You got to be kind of sensitive to some things. But that's just that. So, with that being said, opening statement. Look, everybody knows that this past weekend was Easter. And a lot of people kind of look past what Easter really is about. Easter is technically many holidays celebrated under one. You have Passover. You have a bunny rabbit bringing eggs. You have the rise of the dead, Jesus Christ. And, there's other pagan holidays in there as well. That being said, I want to say to everybody, though it is late, happy belated Easter. I hope your weekend was wonderful, and I hope you're enjoying spring. Spring is here and upon us. There is a lot going on. Please be careful while driving out there, guys. If you don't have sunglasses, go to the damn dollar store and get some sunglasses. The sun is bad out there now. It's peeking out just at the right time while people are driving, whether you're driving home or you're driving to work. It's killer. I went past an accident today. It was about a 5 or 6 car pileup. And that was a 4-lane road, and no, it wasn't 84. So, that being said, that shows you how local I am, too, that I know a lot of things like that. So, that being said, anybody want to start us off? Anybody want to say anything? First off, I want to say hello to Marion. I want to say hello to RJ. I want to say hello to Kathy and Doug. Thank you very much for watching. I love having my loyal watchers watching me all the time. It is great. It makes me all fired up and giddy, and I get all excited, and then I'm like, yay, you're all here. Thank you so much. Or then I can also get, to the crazy when we get on a real good topic, and I look like all red, like my shirt, and I'm going crazy, and oh my God, I'm going to have an aneurysm, a heart attack. I love doing that too. It's fun. I'm a comedic guy. I'm a funny guy. I'm a showman. Anybody that knows me, hey, if you know me from the commish. Speaking of, a couple of tags that you can go ahead and find me under. You can find me under the commish. You can find me under James Mitchell. You can find me on 101. You can find me as the ugly one. And you can find me as 101 hosted by James Mitchell. And you can also find me under Real News. Yeah, so that's how you can find me on YouTube. Also, just liking the page, share the page, get people going on that. I can't believe I'm at 80 people already liking and following, and I'm doing a little bit. I'm not doing a whole lot just yet. So I do really appreciate everybody being there. I really appreciate that we had an amazing weekend. Yesterday was absolutely gorgeous out. We had up here in New York almost 80 degrees. There was no clouds in the sky. I mean, it was perfect. It was gorgeous. Speaking of, I want to do a little shout out to my son. My son, he's 5 years old, and he just had his kindergarten screening yesterday, and it's tearing my heart out of my chest. It really is, knowing that my son is growing up so fast. I mean, this kid watches so many things that I like. I mean, yeah, it's making me teary-eyed right now. He's absolutely amazing. He really is. He means so much to me. It's just when we get to see our kids grow up and interact with things that we like and see how much they really are shaped off of us, it's amazing, at the same time scary. Song by Rodney Atkins. I want to be like you, Dad. I think is the name of the song. I mean, I tear up every time I hear that song because that's my son. He's unbelievable. I love him. So he did great. That's why I want to do the shout out to my son. He did great at his little exam. He's going to kindergarten. We got an IEP thing coming up, but that's just, between me and his mom and everything else. But the kid's doing good. He really is. So if you guys have a kid and you know what I'm going through right now, you've seen them grown up. It's hard, isn't it? It's we see so much of a reflection of us when we look at our children. And it's important that we nourish them not only health-wise, but with their mind. We also got to be careful what we're nourishing them with. And why do I talk about that nourishment? Because my son likes to listen to music. He's a little showman in himself. He really is. And well, I was listening to the classic rock station on the way home, and the Beastie Boys comes on. Now, if anybody knows the Beastie Boys, probably not something my 5-year-old should have been listening to. Shame on me. But I hear him in the back seat singing, "Fight for your right to party." And I'm like, tears are rolling down my face because I'm laughing, and I'm so proud that my son knows who the Beastie Boys is, because I actually used to come out to their music when I did wrestling up until I switched to AC/DC. So it's quite funny to see that change. Yeah, Doug, they really do. They grow up so fast. And you got a little one. Your little man's he's up there now too. Is he going to school yet? So I mean, it's just, I couldn't stop laughing, but to try and tell him that he shouldn't be singing that song at the same time was really hard, because I listen to many different genres of music. Doesn't matter if you're talking from the 50s on up to now. So make sure that I'm on mute, that nobody can text me while I'm on with you guys. Yeah, you gotta to party, you gotta fight. Yeah. Seriously, it was funny to hear my son singing the Beastie Boys, and he was singing "You Gotta Fight for Your Right to Party." I don't know if he's ever heard the song before. He says he has. He was singing that word for word. Doug, he's in 3rd grade already? Oh my God, where's the time gone? Oh my God, your kid is in 3rd grade already. Damn it. So you already had your heart ripped out when you saw him go on the bus for kindergarten for the first time. That's already happened to you. Dang. Um, my brother-in-law, Jason, nice to see you, bud. We were just talking about Jackson singing the Beastie Boys last night. So if you're still on, you might want to really jump in and kick in on this. It's absolutely hilarious. He was singing this song, but at the same time, sitting there trying to tell him that he shouldn't. It's not like it was Eminem. Let him sing the Beastie Boys. Funny you say that, because there is a song that I like from Eminem a lot, and he's listened to that song. My wife's watching, guys, right now. I can't really throw myself under the bus too much, but he knows those words too. He knows not to curse. My son knows not to curse. Oh my God, does my son know not to curse? My son loves music, and if he loves the beat or the sound of it, he will literally start to sing right away. So my question for some of you parents out there, or even aunts or uncles, just because you don't have kids yourselves, you're around kids a lot. What do you do when you hear them singing a song you know they shouldn't sing? Do you actually sit there and laugh and let it, oh my God, I can't believe I like that song? Or is it kind of like, yeah, you shouldn't really be singing that. It's not quite appropriate for your age. I mean, I feel like I'm on eggshells with that one. I really do. I thought it was funny. I really did. But yeah, you're right. Eminem, look, I didn't let him listen to Tupac. My son doesn't listen to Tupac, and I like Tupac, okay? I make sure I don't listen to that when he's in. I don't let him listen to Pantera, okay. I don't let him listen to ultra screamo music. I kind of, when he's not around, I'm really trying not to throw myself under the bus right now. Don't say the curse words. And when asked what something meant, I said, I'll tell you when you get older. How many times does our parents say that to us when we were kids? When we'd have the question, and I'll tell you when you're older. Now we're older, and we know what it means, and mom and dad didn't have to tell us. That is hilarious. I love that. That is really something funny, Jess. I like that a lot. I probably could say that with him. Yo, Chris, my boy, man, nice to see that you're on. How you doing, man? How's everything up there in Sully? How's Sullivan County treating you? Saw the pictures of the house, man. The demo's going fast, ain't it? So yeah, I mean that's one thing. I mean, honestly, like I said, I don't let him listen to the really bad stuff, and make sure that I try and get the radio edit. But it's just, I mean, come on. All right, if he started singing Spice Girls, I mean, I would laugh at it. I would think it's hilarious. Nothing wrong with it. It's okay. It's clean, in a sense. But yeah, I'm contacting you later after the video. Don't worry about that. You know who you are. So I mean, honestly, it was crazy. It's been so super busy, and then all of a sudden to hear him singing the Beastie Boys was priceless. I mean, my wife was ready to kill me. She was absolutely ready to kill me that he's singing the Beastie Boys. But it was like a little bit of a proud moment. If he started singing any of the songs from Green Day, all right, one, I know she likes Green Day more than me. My favorite album was Dookie. I'm sorry, Dookie all the way. Yeah, Guns N' Roses. Yo, there's nothing wrong with Guns N' Roses. Seriously, there's nothing wrong with Guns N' Roses. I think that's absolutely epic that he's saying that. If he knows every song to Guns N' Roses, good for him. Really, more power to him. I mean, probably does better than most of the people. Honestly, guys, I didn't really, I wanted to get on because I haven't been on in a while. Music would seem to be like just a perfect fit to talk about right now in the beginning. especially with kids. I mean, kids are sponges. They absorb so much. They're so easily influenced. And just to think that something like that really influenced my kid, and the fact that he really loved it, I mean, I think it was a little bit funnier because, I mean, if he actually heard my song when I was wrestling, oh my God. Mine was from the Beastie Boys as well. Mine was Check It Out. And really, the lyrics in that song are not age appropriate for him. But I used to come out to that song, and that's kind of the reason why I got rid of that song. When I used to come out in wrestling, doing all the wrestling stuff, and that's why I went to Back in Black, because I used to wear black a lot, and really nothing. AC/DC is pretty clean compared to some of the other stuff that kids listen to. But then again, that's another thing. Look at the popular radio stations that are on today and some of the music that they are putting on. I mean, talk about already subliminally influencing our children. I mean, they're hearing some really nasty stuff. Here's one for you. Your son was always listening, whatever Shannon was listening to. So was he. Yeah. You're right, Leslie. Once again, I think that's why he might be a little sensitive to loud sounds, and I mean loud sounds, because she would always be at the wrestling events, and the PA systems and that are extremely loud, plus all the pyrotechnics and whatnot. So it's crazy how well he's into. And being that we would always listen to music around him, whether she was pregnant or even now, would explain. My son, let's put it this way, people. My son watches musicals. My son loves to dance and loves to sing. I see nothing wrong with that, because look at men back in the day. Ben Crosby, Danny Kaye, Gene Kelly, friggin' Gary Cooper, kind of so-so. I'm trying to think of his name right now. It's on the tip of my tongue. He always played a gangster. Jim Cagney. Those men, Bob Hope, they knew how to dance. And it wasn't, not to get, but it wasn't gay to dance. Those men could dance and they could sing. And there was nothing wrong with that. That was back in the era that people didn't have to be politically correct. And you didn't have to worry about it. And my son loves that stuff. Can't wait to come home and bless God, killer by God, body count when I come home. Yo, Jace, you're doing that. I'm holding you to it now, all right? I'm holding you to it, all right? You have to now. I'm holding you to it. I'm not going to introduce it to him. You can, all right? That's so messed up that we just said that when Mom and Dad and Shannon are probably watching right now. So, but back to squirrel moment. My son watches very often Hugh Jackman in The Greatest Showman. Loves that. Knows every song word for word. He's watched the musical version of Scrooge with Albert Finney. Loves it. He knows the choreography. He knows the song word for word. My son also has watched Seven Brides for Seven Brothers. Once again, another thing he knows inside and out. When my son was younger, I made him watch Saturday Night Fever with me. He liked that. He liked John Travolta and the Bee Gees music. My son watched Jersey Boys. He loves Jersey Boys. He's a big fan of the Four Seasons now and Frankie Valli. So, I mean, wide range. I mean, my son is all about Star Wars and Marvel and Disney and stuff. But, at the same time, you think about every Disney video or movie out there kind of is a musical in its own sense. So kids are kind of implemented with this already. You heard me say being politically correct on some of the stuff. It's true. It's we got to be politically correct on how we say some of these things sometimes too, so we don't offend. And I really don't want to offend anybody that likes a musical. My son likes musicals. I'll watch Seven Brides for Seven Brothers. You won't get me to watch Sound of Music again. It's been enough. I've had to watch that. I've not watched any of the Mamma Mias. I'm sorry, I have not. Chick flicks or not watched a freaking single one of them. ABBA's okay. I do like it. But when you work at a grocery store and your Korean manager goes dancing down the aisle to Dancing Queen, you're kind of throwing off ABBA. Kind of ruins it. It's hilarious. It was freaking hilarious. But, my son loves Rocky Horror. He doesn't understand the undertones of the movie, but he loves the music. Yeah. That right there, Doug, Halloween costume. Halloween costume, man. Come on. Get him dressed up as the servant. There you go. That's kind of somewhat appropriate. I mean, that's damn it, Janet. Mamma Mia was good. But you know what? My wife, she's probably going to get me to watch it one of these days. She really is. I said that the only reason why I'd watch the second one is because Cher's in it, and I like Cher. So, I mean, I think her music's good. Anybody's got a problem with that, you can fight with me on it, all right? That's like trying to say that Elton John's not good, because we will fight on that, all right? Elton John is better than Billy Joel. I don't care what anybody says. And you know who's better also than Billy Joel? Meatloaf. I said it. Bad out of hell. I went there. You don't like it? Prove me wrong. Big whoop. Want to fight about it? Let's go. Honestly, I really, I mean, there's so much going on, guys. It comes to music. Music runs our lives in some way or shape or form. Cher is the best. Thank you. Got one. Got one person there. All right. But other than the musicals, I mean, and music, I think I'm doing a pretty bang up job so far as a dad. I mean, probably better as a. What the heck? Something just happened. That's kind of weird. Without Elton John, there's no Freddie Mercury, then there would be no Queen. Yeah, I mean, Elton John, Liberace, those guys, they kind of like set the tone. And if you really think about it, if it wasn't for Led Zeppelin, for Pink Floyd, or even for Elton John, for the Beatles, without those guys to set the tone and bring rock and roll to what it was, you really wouldn't have Green Day, Nirvana, or Limp Bizkit, or Linkin Park, or Imagine Dragons, or you wouldn't have those bands of today. Think about it. You wouldn't even have the bands I just mentioned, Pink Floyd, all of them, without Elvis, Johnny Cash. Those guys as well. They all influence somehow or another and make that ripple effect. And it's funny because here we are talking about our kids like these musicals. For all we know, our kids could be the next ones that be the next big bands out there. I mean, I say to my son all the time, he wants to be a professional wrestler. He wants to do movies. He wants to do music. He wants to do this. He wants to do that. Well, here's a guy who's well-rounded and does all three. Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho is an actor. He is a comedian. He is a wrestler. And he is a musician. His band Fozzy has played in Poughkeepsie. I mean, take away what Chris Jericho has recently just said about Poughkeepsie, the man's still a well-rounded person. He's done many things. Famous in each aspect, in each one of those parts in his own right. I say him over John Cena because, John Cena's not touring, musically. Jericho does. Jericho also knows how to play his own instrument. That also being said, that's another thing. Do we nourish our children talents. Now, I know my son wants to do baseball. He wants to do football. He wants to do basketball. He wants to do soccer. He also wants to learn how to play the guitar. He wants to learn how to play the piano. And he wants to do acting. Do we nurse those the right way? I also forget. He wants to do martial arts. So when do we say enough's enough? Do we say no to our children when it comes to nourishing their talents? Is it fair to say no? That's another question I have for you. I mean, don't feel afraid to write this, even if I'm skipping past and I've already gone over and talked on to something else. Please do write it, even if you're watching this as a previously recorded episode, because I will look at the comments. I will write back at some point and discuss with this, which if it comes into that, we could also have another discussion on another video. So that being said, my wife had brought it up this way, that we let him try it. If he doesn't like it, he has to finish out the season that he's in, then never sign him up again. But at the same time, you could have that bad experience one time and might want to try it again down the road when you're a little older. I mean, you say no or enough is enough when it interferes with school or their social growth. Okay, well, here's the only thing about the social growth part. When you're into those types of sports or activities, you're also interacting with your teammates or members or close-knit groups, so you are socially active. But I can understand the school, the academic part. But then again, look at these people that are like Olympians who have done so much that they actually were taken out of school and were homeschooled because of the fact that their talents were that accelerated. So they nourished it that way. Now, again, I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying. I'm just saying, also think of that side of the fence too. So that, I mean, when it comes to these things, you really got to be careful. But then again, how much is too much? Do we say we don't love our child when we don't give them something like that? I mean, I think we love them no matter what, that we're willing to even try and get them into something and make, work hard for it. It's so much. It's crazy. But I mean, we got to make sure they also know they can't get spoiled and do everything either. Would I be wrong for saying that? I mean, is that wrong of me to say that they can't do everything? Do we make that choice for them? Or do we let them, find out for themselves? Shoot it at me, Doug. What you got? What you got, Doug? I'm ready. By the way, everybody, there is a little lag because I'm Wi-Fi. So if I'm just waiting a few seconds to catch something, don't think it's dead air. I'm here. We're going to tick-tock, 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 Crocs coming for the mean old Captain Hook. Pick it up, man. I'm beat. It's Wednesday, and I'm already tired. I wish I was up and running in my own business so I could make my own hours because I just don't want to go to work tomorrow. Is that wrong of me too? I know I got to go to work because I provide all the things for my kid. All right, here we go. Let's talk about how substance abuse precautionary treatments like Suboxone and methadone are free, but diabetic medicine is priced outrageous. Okay, so Doug, it's kind of funny that you bring this up because this is something similar that we have talked about before, but we haven't really touched fully on this subject. Uh, I actually honestly feel it's outrageous that medicine that cures or eases the symptoms have to be so awful expensive. Now, at the same time, this is when we get into the politics as well as the money hungry, greedy, no good corporations. Um, so, how would you like to start about this? Which side of the fence do you want to go? That's what I'll ask. You are in recovery, I know, my friend, and that is one thing I really. So, I myself, it's a little bit harder to speak on that side of the fence. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to have you on that side of the fence. Even though you agree, you typing as fast as you can, I'll try and keep up with you, or vice versa, you keeping up with me. Um, I'm I'm at a point that I don't like the idea of giving a subsidized narcotic to wean somebody off of a narcotic. I don't like the idea. Um, yeah, okay. So we're all right. So we're going to be on the same side of the fence on this then. All right. So if anybody's wondering if you can see what Doug is talking about, uh, it's a cop out. It's a band-aid situation. A lot of people do fall off the wagon because they were weaned off on another drug. It's in personal aspect and thought. Yes, insulin is needed to live. Amoxicillin is needed to kill a flu or a bacteria. That costs a lot of money. Uh, Even not insulin, you can look at glipizide or metformin. Those are kind of expensive as well. It's expensive to get a machine to prick your finger and test your blood and see what your sugar levels are at, but it's cheaper to get a freaking needle syringe to inject yourself with something. What's wrong with the picture on this? Okay, I'm going to put it this way. When you have corporations that are making money over fist for something to keep somebody alive, you're going to keep charging more and increasing more because you're making that much profit. That also being said, the politicians allow it to happen because the fat cat lobbyists that are from these corporations are sitting there saying, hey, let's make sure that bill doesn't go past and we'll give you that extra little bonus. How about that, huh? Especially since your re-election campaign is coming up. You don't die without subs or methadone. You die with diabetes medicine. Yes. So, again, and please, anybody who is an addict, an ex-addict, knows somebody who is one of the above. Please don't take this personally when I say this. You chose to start. You chose to smoke, sniff, inject, somehow ingest into your body a substance to make you high. We shouldn't be giving you something to wean you off of it, maybe just cold turkey and watching you. And then when we see the things that you need to be kept alive, give you that, not methadone or freaking. I mean, you got diabetes and you need insulin, you should be given the insulin to be kept alive. You didn't choose for diabetes. Diabetes happened to you. Unless you're overweight like me, then bitch, sorry, I curse, sorry. You chose to have diabetes if you're overweight like me. Okay, and now not everybody who's overweight has diabetes. There is a little girl that I know that has diabetes, and she's a stage 1, and it's a shame. She didn't choose for that, and her mother didn't choose for that. I know her father didn't choose for that. There's big business in substance abuse treatment, rehab, detox, and the medicine, and there's always that return to using as a possibility. You're right. There's not as much profit in diabetes, but there is. Okay, if you pay attention to this in the long haul, in the long run, it's going to sound like we're talking about a conspiracy. But see, the thing is, we're going to go from point A to point B, and you're going to see in the long haul where it's really coming from. Most of these pharmaceutical companies have a secondary company or connection somehow to a ingestible, consumable. That is where it all comes in. The more sugars are going in, the more use your product is. At the same time, now you're creating supply and demand for the medicine that's going to be needed for somebody who becomes a diabetic. Now, diabetes medicine is expensive. Insulin you need insulin to live, to break down the sugars, the starches, and everything like that. You can charge $200 per insulin pen if you want, because most people are going to need 2 or 3, 4 pens a month. If they need that many, you just made $800. Granted, now you put that over the long haul, more people most likely have diabetes than there is people who are abusing a certain form of drug. That also being said, now you're making that much more money hand over fist, especially when you look at how much it costs to make insulin. The profit margin is exponential. It's amazing to see how much it really costs to make one vial of insulin. Now, you go ahead and you look at all the methadone clinics and Suboxone, you name it, whatever. There is only so much you can give that person, and as you said, are willing to fall off the wagon. They fall off the wagon, what are they going to be taking? Not your subsidiary. They're going to go and find the real stuff. They want the real high. They want to know, like, it's a shame. It really is, Doug. I can't tell you how bad it is. Here, I'll point it out this way. Did you know that most medicines, 90% of medicines, don't actually expire and go bad, but they have an expiration date on it? Do you want to know why? Because there's more money in telling you it goes bad, so you throw it out and buy new ones, than telling you that it's okay to leave on your shelf until the end of the apocalypse. I mean, that right there. I'm an addict, not to disrespect other addicts, but James, you're right. I did it with other drugs, cold turkey, and I do what I have to. I go to a program in therapy. I feel like diabetic people need free medicine. If not free, close to free. The same thing is going on right now where, okay, I'm going to kind of go off topic, but you're going to see it's parallel if you follow me. If I get a little too far out of control, somebody let me know. Right now, we have a candidate running for president who thinks that we should go ahead and give free college educations. We should be paying for student loans. Okay. Why should we do that when others have been paying for theirs? Why should we do that when the same people who have been going to high school, and no offense, good amount of them sitting here doing the addicting drugs, barely paying attention to school, barely paying attention to going to classes, are now going to get a free education on the tax dollars of hardworking people already. It's not fair. Okay, now we look at the same thing again now with the drugs. I mean, when you look at that, is it fair to say one is deserving over the other? Is it fair to go ahead and give somebody a free stint for a heart, but not medicine for diabetes or stroke? Is it fair to do it the other way, to charge for the stint so they can stay alive, but you give away the free medical? I mean, we're talking about something that is really hard to go through. I personally think that there's other ways to lower the costs for medical. One, more regulation and control on pharmaceutical companies. Two, for all the illegal immigrants that have come here and now have had their anchor baby, send the bill to the country they came from. Make them responsible for that. Next, the third thing I would say is limit, or not so much limit, but more fine-tooth comb malpractice lawsuits. A lot of people like to scream lawsuit, but have no reason to. And you're right, that's socialism, and it will never work. Every time in the history of the world socialism is tried, it becomes communism. Correct. You're 100% correct on that. So once again, we're looking into a issue that's very touch and go, very dangerous. This is why I'm saying, if you look at it the sense that I just mentioned, there is other alternatives. There's other answers to our problems. Like, how about this? Wind power and solar energy is already at the stage that it is. There's no more advancing it. You can't harness more power from it. It's already at that stage. It's done. There's nothing you can do. Adding tons and tons and tons and tons and tons and tons and tons upon tons of more solar panels and wind turbines is only going to A, eat up more area, B, destroy more beautiful landscape, C, put in danger the habitat and wildlife that you already say is endangered and won't let us drill for oil or frack and coal. On the same amount, we could go ahead and take the billions and billions and billions and billions and billions and trillions of dollars that we're funneling into something that somebody's not actually looking for and doing more research, and actually look for a subsidiary or another form of energy that could coincide with solar energy or wind power. That could also go back into helping the medical care costs. All right. You could cut down the emissions on what people are breathing in. You could also look at the other thing. Now, again, we come up with all the solutions. It's up to our government to do something about it. They're not going to do something about it because what's doing now is making them money. You have a young lady who is a U.S. representative from New York who is screaming that the world's going to end in 12 years. I've been hearing that for the last 30 years. I'm 33 years old. What the hell does that tell you? The world's going to end. The world's going to end. The world's going to end. Show me the proof. I'm still here 30 years later. I know I kind of bounced around. I went all over the place. My train's kind of leaving the station. How about we don't give three hots free college education, free medical care to inmates? Okay, we have to take care of inmates, but how about we make them serve their time in jail, but work for their medical? I'm not 100% sure if some do or don't. Any of my COs out there watching today that can answer that, I would greatly appreciate it. Please fact check me. Yes, I agree with you on that, Doug. I agree with you 100% on your last comment there. Why can't they make license plates? Or ARC has certain jobs for special needs people, putting handles on sleds or whatever, like, folding papers and stuff in envelopes and things like that. Why, in a sense, can't the similar jobs be given to the prisoners to work for their free medical care and for their food? Why can't they do that for their education? Especially, why are they getting a free education if they're going to be long term? What are they going to do with that education? It's a waste. You did a crime. You're supposed to be sitting there in the cell thinking about what you did, or waiting for death row. You want to read? Read a book. Fine. That's okay. I don't think it's fair. Honestly, don't. And I also don't think it's fair, Mr. Sanders, that we should allow these criminals who committed a crime and gave up all their rights by committing a crime to vote. That's another thing that absolutely blows my mind. When you do the time, you should have to pay your debt. Yes, I feel that if an inmate 00113 chose to shoot somebody and take their life, should then in some way, shape, or form, be maybe on death row, be sitting in the cell doing nothing. I don't see why they should be exercising and being jacked up, or it should be light cardio work that keeps them healthy. I think they should do some type of laborious menial work that would help the outside world so it can pay for what they're doing and getting in return. Most inmates are felons, therefore they don't vote. Yes, 100% correct again, Doug, but here's the thing. Bernie Sanders, the gentleman from Vermont who is running for president, just got done saying yesterday, or just recently, at a town hall event hosted by CNN, that he thinks criminals should be allowed to vote, just like the terrorists from the Boston bombing. The can's open. Here I'm going again. All right. I don't think so. You gave up your rights by committing a crime. You need to sit there and do your goddamn time. It's wrong. It's messed up. And for the love of God, tooth for a tooth, eye for an eye. You did a crime, you do the time. That's all I gotta say. I mean, it's so here again. How can we help medical costs? Making things cheaper, making sure that not just everybody and anybody can go ahead and do a lawsuit and scream freaking malpractice. Anybody who has an anchor baby who's an illegal alien, send the bill to the illegal country that they originally reside from. Make them pay that bill so we don't have to, the taxpayers, like we've been over and over again. That's why we're having a lot of issues. How about for the fact that we also increase the value of the dollar and not just raise minimum wage, thinking you throw money at it when the money's not being made to cover it? That's another thing. Make it worthwhile for people to want to get the correct jobs. See, when you have movies and media constantly belittle positions, lawyers, doctors, plumbers, farmers, mechanics, people will not want those positions, so they won't go for the education for those positions. Because when you demean these people that are hardworking, people don't want to be associated with that. So now with that happening, we're going to have less in that labor force. That creates a problem as well. That makes things much more expensive. When you only have, say, one dairy farmer per state, so we have 50 farmers out there that are dairy farmers, guess what? You're only going to be paying $50 for a gallon of milk because you got to cover all those farmers that there's a lack thereof. The same thing goes with oil. When we're not going ahead and putting out oil in our own country and we keep getting it from other places, it's going to cost more. Also, that money is going to other countries instead of inside of this country, creating a nice working pool. The same thing that you turn around and told me the reason why I can't have oil in this country is because of the spotted newt is endangered. But you want to go ahead and put a solar farm or a wind farm in that area. Did I just become stupid all of a sudden and not realize that the spotted newt is endangered over there? See, this is the problem with a lot of people in society today, is that we decide not to inform ourselves and just go with what we see here. So when one says that they're not into politics, one says that they don't vote, one says that they don't need to pay attention, you're wrong. You need to be paying attention to the current facts and what's going on and what other people are saying, because it affects our everyday life one way or another. Now, I think when it comes to medical costs, all the things that I've already mentioned could help affect the medical costs in every way, shape, or form. And again, I don't think it's right for people to be getting a narcotics subsidiary to get them weaned off of narcotics. You chose to do the freaking drugs, quit cold turkey. Wait until it exits your system. Drink a shit ton of water. It'll flush it out one way or another. I mean, when it comes to these scenarios, these things, people don't understand. And they sit there and they're like, oh, well, you know, well, we should let the convicts vote. No! The convicts are in a prison for a reason. Oh, well, they did drugs and they're addicts and they need help. Yeah, they need help, all right? Help them not get the freaking drugs anymore. Help them not sit there and use. help them find alternative ways to spend their time and get a high. You can get a high by spinning around and around and around and around and around in a circle. You can get a high for jogging for 5 miles. It's called a runner's high. Look into it. Okay, these scenarios don't need to be taken care of by our government because you chose to do the drugs. The diabetic didn't choose to have diabetes. The stroke victim didn't choose to have a stroke. I'll tell you one. If a woman decides to have a baby and carry full term for her baby, she chose to be pregnant. Let's not make the neo vitamins, the prenatal vitamins, expensive for them. They're carrying an extra life in their body. How about somebody who's got cancer? They didn't choose to have cancer. They didn't choose to have their cells turn on them, but now they got to go through all these different therapies, go through freaking chemo and whatever else. It wasn't fair to them that they got to blow, I stopped myself, blow tons of freaking money on this crap, but it's okay for the addicts to go ahead and get methadone. If you and me, a matter of fact, Doug, who is a recovering addict, if you look back in the comments, agrees with me, is the one that brought this up, we can figure this out. Why hasn't the government yet? Three words: fat cat lobbyists. One word: corporations. It's all about the mighty dollar. It's the money, people. And the only way to stop this and get it fixed, as I told you before, I'm telling you again, start in the local town supervisor, and on up to the president. You have to get the right people in power. It is. It's all about the money. Chrissy, I'm sorry, I didn't see that you wrote that. It's very true. I just said it. Okay. Marion, you're right too. 100%. This is the way it is. It's a shame. For everybody just jumping on, if you don't like the page already, please like and share. I will be putting this on YouTube as well. What about people who get weight loss surgery and don't follow and get fat again? Again, that's your fault. You don't have the willpower to fight, but you want to go ahead and get the weight loss surgery. I'll tell you right now, there's a friend of mine who has been on 1 year the diet from her weight loss surgery. God bless her. Congratulations to her. She has not only lost the weight, she's kept it off. And she's lost a lot. It's not an easy road to do. Neither is coming off of drugs. You still need to find the perfect support system and help you. Sometimes the only support system is yourself. It sucks. I know. But something else has to be done. It shouldn't be up to the government to give you free shit to make you better. When in retrospect, we should be helping the people who are dying and didn't choose to die. But if you choose to stick a needle in your arm and inject a narcotic or an illegal drug or substance inside of your system, you're choosing to die. There's more cases of overdose than every day. I mean, come on. Talk about it all the time on the news. Yes, I am really doing my best censoring myself. I really am trying. It's a shame. It really is. This country makes money off of diabetics, off of cancer patients, off of everything they shouldn't be making money off of. And things that they should be making the money off of, they're not. Politically correct. Let me be politically correct. Is everybody ready for this? I'm probably going to lose a lot of viewers for this. Are you ready for me to be politically correct? Let me give you guys a couple seconds to answer that. You can do thumbs up, hearts, actually answer it. Are you ready for me to be politically correct? Politically correct is absolute. Get ready for this. Close the ears. Earmuffs, little boys and girls. Politically correct is bullshit. There's no such thing as politically correct. You want to know who started politically correct? The Democrats. See, if you don't agree with them or say the things that they want said or said the way they want it said, that's when you gotta be politically correct. You can't be like that. Because if you don't say that way, you're misogynistic, you're sexist, and you're racist. Ah! How dare you? Now I'm triggered! I'm triggered! How could you say that? Oh, I can't believe he said it! He said there's no such thing as political correctness. I did. There's no such goddamn thing. The Democrats made it up because right there and then is how they're trying to control this country and turn it into a socialistic economy, to a socialistic way of life. Got some news for you, Miss AOC. There's 3 branches of government. Does anybody know what they are? Judicial, executive, and the oh god, I actually just got a brain fart because my friggin' head hurt. Presidential. So there we go. Some pharmacies will give you free meds for diabetes. Yes. Some people can, depending on their insurance, they'll give it to you. They make money off of because those who did not ask for it want to live, and they just do stupid, painful things to the good people. It's correct. I'm preaching, right? Look. When it comes to it, all right, people need to understand that everything is nothing but a game, okay? It's a flat-out game with politics. The 3 branches of government is not the only thing. It's worse than that. There is a 4th branch of government, believe it or not. And not a lot of people understand that or notice it or see it. Okay? And it's sad of that. Because when you think of it, when you break it down to the executive, the legislative, and the judicial, there's one more. Legislators, thank you. Okay. So, what's the 4th branch of government? Does anybody know? Because if you look it up online, you're not going to find it. I'm telling you right now, you will not find it. And again, yes, Carol, it's the legislators, legislative branch. I had a brain fart. All right, so anybody know? The 4th branch of government is you. 100%, each and every single one of you out there in the entire United States, included, we're the fourth branch. We have the power to place and remove people anywhere in those three branches. See, I mean, political correctness is caca, is human excrement, is absolute dog feces. What political correctness is your way of censoring us. And I shouldn't be censored. The first GD Amendment of the United States of America is freedom of speech. You do not have the right to censor me. Oh my God, he's getting triggered again. There he goes, there he goes, there he goes. It's true. Just like you don't have the right to turn around and tax people who are dying and charge them more for a medicine that can make them better. On top of it, it's absolute bullshit that you hold back a cure. And trust me, they got the means to make the cure. There's a lot of things out there that they could cure. It's kind of funny how quick they have a cure for swine flu when swine flu was out. Or for the measles. Oh my God. Stop the whole non-vaccination BS. Anybody here in New York knows that we have a problem, Orange and Rockland, the friggin' measles outbreak. Now Tennessee and friggin' Mississippi is worrying about the same damn thing. And there's an outbreak down in Florida. We shouldn't have an outbreak. This is a disease that was around in the 1600s and the 1700s. That's like having a friggin' outbreak of smallpox. There's certain vaccinations, yes, maybe we shouldn't have because it's got some harmful things in it. Maybe if we went ahead and improved money to go in the appropriate areas instead of going back into solar and wind power, which is already at a technological advantage to the point it's been the same thing for the last 20 years, if not longer. Find the money into something else. Funnel it into something that matters. It is. In a sense, you're right. It's the money that keeps them from giving it out. Like I said earlier in the video, you can turn around and make a lot more money on insulin than you can on methadone. Because sugary drinks, all right, there we go, okay, sugary drinks, too much of it causes diabetes. Overweight can lead to diabetes. Genetics can lead to diabetes. All right. Yes, there's a lot of different things. You're right. Again, Carol, correct. All right. It's just this shit is real. Illegal immigrants coming in here and having babies and jacking up the freaking healthcare costs on normal, hard-paying, legal citizens is not fair either. Especially if they come over here with a gunshot wound, or stab wound, or high and stuck on drugs, or actually bringing the drugs into this country to sell. So anybody out there that doesn't think that there's a crisis at the border, I just told you what the crisis is. It's the reason why we have high healthcare costs. The reason why we have so many crime rates and everything else. Yes, not every single person coming across the border is a criminal. Okay, and when I say it this way, I don't mean they're a career criminal. They're not always a thief. They're not always a murderer or whatever. Some people just want to come in here and look for sanctuary. It's fine. You come over here illegally, you're a criminal. You broke the law. You came here illegally. Once again, if we could cut it down and stop it to almost 2-3%, it don't cost us as much money. Now we can funnel the money back to where we need to, like stopping cancer, stopping heart attacks, strokes, hepatitis, AIDS, HIV, gonorrhea, syphilis, smallpox, measles. The list goes on and on and on, people. It's one thing after another. It really is. It's not fair to most of the people that are the law-abiding citizens. It's a good movie. To have to go ahead and pay for everything else. But here it is. Hold on. I'm going to pause for a second. I feel bad for our future. The future is these children of this nation. We pay for everyone that can't pay for themselves. My parents were on public assistance. I grew up on it, and I vowed to get off because I know it's a helping hand, not a lifestyle. That shows your parents instilled something into you. Moral fiber. Moral fiber is a good thing to have. Moral fiber is something that we all need. We all need moral fiber. Now, what do I mean by that? Good morals. Good choices make for good rewards. You're right at it being it's a helping hand, not a lifestyle. Many people forget this. That's why there should be a term limit on it. It should have a time restriction to force people to get up and move. Matter of fact, I think at that point that they get people to start up and moving, they slowly dwindle them off of the helping hand till they know that they have good enough to sustain regular society. It's a shame. Look, there's loopholes. There always is. You're right. Look, if everybody's going to be out there on a line in the street on Friday for bread and cheese from the government, I want my share too, okay? Where's my government cheese? Where's my government bread? Wait, hold on, because I work, I don't get it. My work is paying for that government cheese and government bread. I think I'm well deserved of it. The people who are honest are the ones that always suffer. Gun control, gun laws. Honest, hardworking, truthful, law-abiding citizen who has their gun is not going to just, okay, let me turn it in because they know the root's right, but if we really had to, they'd probably turn it in. Where Z Pepsi out there on the street turn around and he's got his Glock that he stole off of some compound, and he signed off and chiseled out them serial numbers, and Z Pepsi turned around and busting caps. Guess what? Z Pepsi has an illegal weapon and don't care about no laws. He don't care one bit, boy. And you know what else Z Pepsi's gonna do? He gonna turn in that clock because he needed to go get the Bloods and the Crips, man. Yeah, I went there. Yeah, I said it. Accent and all. Just because there's a freaking sign that says no firearm zone doesn't mean that the guy's going to walk into the bank and be like, oh, no guns. Got to walk back away. We'll have to figure another way to rob the bank. No. They're going to walk in. This is a stick-up. Right or wrong? I'm sorry, am I using common sense? Is that something that the politicians and most people in the media don't have anymore? Because common sense is a flower that doesn't grow in everybody's garden. Common sense is something that died freaking years ago on many of these idiots. Marion, agree. It's true. I'm sorry. The country has too many sovereign citizens who don't respect the Constitution and our laws. It's true. But the ones that do are the ones that have to suffer. They're the ones that have to pay for everything. It all started with political correctness. The fall of the American empire started with the Democrats turning this country into socialism, socialistic views. Ronald Reagan looked into the camera and said that this was the dawn of a new age. This was the dawn of America. Sad to say, Ronnie, may you rest in peace. Billy Clinton, Slick Willie, decided that dusk was coming real fast. And Mr. Obama tried to put the nail in the casket. Now we got somebody in there who's got cojones and is trying to make this country good again, has a great economic plan. It's got this freaking country running sweet now. It's being threatened to be impeached. It's been threatened with freaking collusion. Been threatened with obstruction of justice. He's a racist, misogynist, sexist. Everything's bounced off the man, but people keep on trying. The media, the drive-by media, the freaking a-hole CNN, who's losing more and more ratings every week. MSNBC with dumbasses like Rachel Maddow, losing more ratings every week. And then you got CSNBC and C-SPAN. Let me tell you, take a look at what's actually going on around you. You'll see the true colors. You'll see the color this country really should be. You see a man who's hated by his own party and the party against him is opposite. When both parties hate you, you're doing something right. When you go against the norm in the deep state, they don't like it. There's got to be a reason for that, people. I'm over here telling you guys. I'm telling you the truth. I'm telling you guys the common sense. Add it. Don't do Korean math. Don't do Common Core. 1 + 1 ain't goddamn 5. 1 + 1 is 2. Look. 1, 1, 2. It's sickening that these people believe. And I know there's some of you out there. I know some of you watch me because you jump on my damn page every time I put something up about Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez or friggin' Kamala Harris or the freaking Bernie Sanders or Hillary Clinton or Obama, every time I put something out about them, you jump so fast to criticize Trump. President Trump is doing what needs to be done. Don't sit there and say you never said it at the water cooler. I don't care if it was in the 80s, the 90s, or the 2000s. You said it at one point, there's too many illegals. There needs to be border control. There needs to be better health care. There needs to be some type of better energy. There needs to be something. And we got somebody who's trying to do it, and you try to crookedly set up a coup to get rid of the man. Why? Support him. Get the people in there to help support him. Get the House back in order. Get the Senate back in order the proper way. Coattails are coming in 2020. Trust me. Anybody down in the city watching me, you need to make sure that the AOC is taken out. I don't care if you put the person back in power that was there before her. Just because she was in a music video and could dance around, she kind of looks hot. Oh, look at me, I'm AOC. Ah. No. I got news for you. And this is a real quote. AOC said this. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez said this. Oh, I like our vets. Our vets are great. They're perfect because they keep our animals alive. No. Our vets keep your dumb ass alive by protecting us overseas. Fighting the foreign power on their turf and not ours. That's what kind of vets they're talking about there, sweetheart. When we look at what's really going on right now, when you see that a media constantly lies and makes up more and more fake crap to destroy a man that has no reason to be destroyed the way he is, there's a problem. When medical care is being where you're taxed for not having it, there's a problem. When free fake narcotics are being given to addicts so they can get off of actual narcotics and not giving diabetics and cancer patients medicine to help ease their symptoms and help them beat those problems, there's a problem. When you have too much crime with illegal aliens committing the crimes, there's a problem. When you have an economy that is tripled in 3 years over watching one crumble over 8, and people have a problem with making more money, there's a problem. When you have fuel prices finally coming down, but the price of a gallon of milk is going up, we have a problem. Doug, the man has been called racist, misogynistic, sexist. He has said things against a former senator who has passed away. He has said things against many other people, and it's bounced off of him. He's still there. He's still strong. He still has freaking millions of supporters. They can't touch him. They're trying. That's why they're making all this fake stuff up. There is no collusion. There was no obstruction of justice from Trump, his campaign, his friends, his family. There was obstruction of justice from Obama, Bill Clinton, Hillary Clinton. There was obstruction of justice there. Oh, William Barr said that we should investigate. What's wrong? Afraid that the truth is going to come out, and now a former president might go to prison? Two of them. Two former presidents might go to prison when they find out that they have actual obstruction of justice, real collusion. A former Secretary of Defense, First Lady, Senator of New York. That's going to be a big problem. Huh? See, the thing is, you say that Trump was colluding with Russia. Trump has nothing to do with Russia. It's already been proved. He has no dealings with Russia. But when a former Secretary of Defense, a former Senator of New York, a former First Lady, and a former President of the United States gets paid millions of dollars by Russia to do a speech in Russia, hey, that didn't happen. Let's leave that underneath the carpet. That didn't happen. There's no collusion there. But an election was rigged. The election was rigged in New York for Hillary Clinton to beat Bernie Sanders. Did we all forget about that? Did we all take freaking stupid pills? Because I'll tell you what, a lot of you people out there sure as hell have. If you think that that didn't happen or don't remember that happening. These are the things I just said. Or how about the fact that you deleted thousands of freaking important emails and was using a private email server? That's not obstruction of justice. That's not colluding. You're so double standard, so double-sided, it's not even funny. You believe your own goddamn lies. What the hell is wrong with you people? That you eat up anything that Rachel Maddow says, or Anderson Cooper, or what's that Wolf Blitzer a-hole? Yeah, I said a-hole. Yo, it was so bad. It's so bad that these people are in denial that they really thought that Hillary was going to win the election by a landslide. That when it didn't happen, they cried. And then when that happened and he got sworn in, they went ahead and all dressed up as female anatomies and did a giant march against this man right after he was sworn in. Hasn't even done anything, but they had to march against him because he was sexist. What did he do? He didn't do anything. I mean, I really didn't think that there's people that could be that stupid out there, but obviously they are. They're out there. They're that dumb. I got news for you. I'm giving my father credit for this one. If you remember back in the 2015-2016 election, you know, the election season, the Democrats sat there and said, there is no woman more qualified to be the president of the United States than Hillary Clinton. That's the case. Pocahontas and Kamala Harris out there better stop running because they're not even close to being qualified. Because they're obviously not more qualified than Hillary Clinton is. Come on, people. Seriously, when you say something like that, you just slapped any woman in the entire history of ever trying to run. You just slapped them all in the face. Carol, you're right. They hated him because he's successful. Even when he had his bankruptcies, he was still successful. He still learned. He's the creator of the art of the deal. He's running this country like a business, the way this country should be ran. It's working. It's doing wonders. It's doing great for this country. Because he's doing good, and he's messing up people's game plans. You can do everything to get him out of power. Well, any Democrats that are watching, you better go ahead and find some real evidence on him and try and make it stick and get him friggin' impeached right away. Because I'm telling you right now, you're losing seats come 2020. The Republicans will be back in power for the representatives. They'll hold the power in the Senate. Trump will be reelected. And when that happens, you guarantee we'll have another 1 or 2, if not 3, more Supreme Court justices on our side. And then we're going to start on the Ninth Circuit Court. All your illegal subpoenas don't work. 400 plus pages of a report that you all swore up and down was going to go ahead and put Trump away. There was guaranteed collusion and obstruction of justice. Wasn't there, Nancy Pelosi? Chuck Schumer? No, there wasn't. 200 pages of collusion? Nope. Mueller said no. 200 plus pages of obstruction of justice? Nope. Mueller said no. I mean, it's, if you honestly sit there and think that this man is messed up, you really need to do more digging. You really need to stop and take a look. This man has turned the country around in 3 years, faster, stronger, and better than any other president before him. And probably even better than Reagan. And that's saying a lot. That's saying a freaking lot. There's no collusion. There's no obstruction of justice. He's not racist. He's not misogynistic. He's not sexist. But please, by all means, the media needs to keep actually sitting there and saying all these things. They can't do anything to the sitting president. Let them try. It's not going to go past the House of Representatives will. I'm telling you right now. See, here's another thing. People mistake Trump for saying stupid things. Trump's not saying stupid things. Trump is trolling the media and the Democrats. He's telling them a farce, a joke. He's making fun of them. He's trolling them. All right? That's the problem that the Democrats and the media can't stand about Trump. He gives it right back to them. He goes ahead and attacks right away. He's not like Bush. He doesn't roll over and take it. And that's why a lot of people don't like him. It's true. It's the 100% truth. Trolling 101. You remember that video? We'll have to put that video back up, huh? Does everybody want to see that video back up? I'm telling you guys now, it's 2019. It's almost the end of April. Get ready for a lot more of dirty play. Open your eyes. It's time to be woke. It's time for everybody to be awoke and understand that CNN is a dying news industry. The Communist News Network, CNN. Don't get me started with NBC, MSNBC, CBS, C-SPAN. They're all run by the DNC. They all run each other and have each other's hands in each other's pockets playing pocket pool. When you have somebody sit there and cry on TV because a policy that was implemented and enforced during the Obama administration, but try and push it on like it's Trump's, but won't cry when there's kids being killed by illegal immigrants, really need to stop and think about that one. When you sit there and turn around and have somebody go ahead and talk to a representative from New York and try and get her to explain herself, and then she says even stupider things, and you sit there and eat it up like, oh my God, yeah, definitely. You need to stop paying attention to them. Anderson Cooper, Wolf Blitzer, Rachel Maddow, Chuck Scarborough, all of them. Chris Matthews, don't even get me started with him. They all are shoveling the same plate to you. It's the same brown feces. I'm not telling you to watch Fox News. I'm not telling you to listen to Fox News. I'm telling you to listen to yourself. Look back at the facts. Look back at what's really happening. Then you'll see. When you sit there and talk about a family infrastructure and want it fixed, and we come up with plans, and he comes up with an idea and looks for the money, and it's a sound idea and plan, but don't want it because it was his plan, that's almost as stupid as sitting there trying to say, how do you get Trump to replace the light bulb? Tell him Obama put it in. It's a funny joke. But if it was Obama putting the light bulb in, I'm pretty sure it's a halogen bulb and it's eating tons of electricity up. I'll replace it with an LED one. It's true. It's okay for the Democrats to go ahead and charge people who don't have insurance. All right. But it's okay to allow people that don't have insurance to come in to this country and get free health care? Or does that make any sense? Let me ask that question one more time. You're charging legal U.S. citizens for not having insurance, but illegal citizens are coming into this country and getting free health care. Where does that make sense? I think the wrong Fox there, but close, Carol. All right. Why isn't he going for something that will both work and help the environment, though? He has. He actually has. Look up at some of the problems that he's had solutions for. The Democratic Party wants nothing to do with it. That's the reason why the Democrats had the House and the Senate and the government shut down for as long as it was. Trump wasn't going to sit there and let them just run all over him. Things he wants done, they're not getting done. He said in his speech last year and this year for the State of the Address, he had ideas. Prior to the current House of Representatives, both sides of the fence came together to pass laws and regulations and funding for many, many projects. Now that Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer, which Chuck Schumer doesn't have any power, get that straight. Nancy Pelosi thinks she does. Okay, he wants to reclaim the land and drill, right? It's the Democrats who first started reclaiming land from people just to put highways. Okay? Democrats did it first. 1. 2. What's wrong with drilling oil and lowering the price so we don't have to sit there and rely on foreign nations? Because the same places that we wanted to drill for oil or do fracking are now places to solar farms and wind farms. But we couldn't drill there because there was something wrong with the spotted owl or the three-eyed newt or something like that was endangered. Something was endangered. But yet, it's okay to have these farms, solar farms and wind farms. So again, stepped away from an agreement with the world during the Paris Agreement. Yeah, because Paris and everybody else takes advantage of this country. Money that needs to stay in this country and help Americans first, including healthcare, finding new energy, and cleaner air and all that stuff, and protecting our borders and funding our vets, not veterinarians like AOC, vets, VA, is going to all those places instead. So he took us out of those accords so we can save the money and then put it where it needs to be. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with taking care of America first? Everybody gets mad that we police the world. We're the world's police nation and we police everybody. He's pulling us away from that, and now everybody has an attitude about it. I mean, trade war? Yeah, we trade on people, but we now have fair trade agreements. Compared to before, we were the ones getting screwed. We were the ones getting bent over. No lube. I mean, it only makes sense now what we're doing. We've got more money now in our pockets than we ever did before. Our airports are more of an issue than our southern border. No, that's actually where you're wrong. The airports are not the problem. Okay? The border needs to be controlled. We have too many illegal immigrants coming in and having anchor babies, pulling up our healthcare system because that's money that's not being paid. It's being paid out of your taxes and mine. We have illegal guns. We have narcotics, fentanyl, everything like that coming through that border. The more we secure it, the less of that's coming in. Once it's secured, then we fix the next step. See, we finish one, move on to the next. The best way to do it. See, the Obama administration already fixed the airports. They already fixed all of the ports that were out there for trade agreements and embargoes coming with the shipping, right? Obama already did that. So we don't need to do it now. Let us fix the border. Because if there's a problem with the airports, that means Barack Obama didn't do his job. But he told you change. He promised everybody it was going to happen. We have agreements with oil-producing nations at much lower prices than Europe. Because Europe is terrible. Europe is paying $7 a gallon for gas. Europe is nothing but wind turbines and solar panels and got rid of their nuclear energy, and now they have energy crisis. Great Britain is so terrible with Europe that they voted for the Brexit. So I fail to see where your argument stands and holds water on that one. More came through the New York-Buffalo border. So you're saying that Canada has got a problem with us? Because I don't think that's how that was. I mean, you're saying there's Canadians, illegal Canadians now? Oh, then I guess we'd have to put a border control fence on top and bottom, huh? Would that make sense? Would that be a fair argument there? Control the one border that's been pushing more into us first. Because until we do that, we're going to have anything problem. That was due to Greece falling apart. No, it wasn't Greece. What I just mentioned with the no nuclear power and the oil and wind, that's Germany. That's Germany. Germany's actually got a lot more problems than Greece does right now. They're next to be up for the problem like Greece. Let alone should we even talk about the Swiss problem. All right? We could even talk about France. France has an energy crisis right now too. France actually is putting more into nuclear power to save their energy crisis. Brexit, that was Greece. Okay, yeah. I have a little bit of a lag. I'm sorry, Will. So when my Wi-Fi lag hits, I'll think you're talking about something else, and I'll kind of veer off. I'm sorry. Yes, the Greece was because of Brexit, Greece. Yes, you're right. But back again, I mean, because of all this stuff, you got to also understand that the new Green Deal, no, they're not. They're not going full renewable on schedule. They're actually in a very nasty crisis right now. Germany's in bad shape because they're going non-nuclear. Here's the better part. Do you know the new Green Deal wants us to get rid of airports and go with more trains and modern technology that way, which is what third world countries and second world countries like Japan and everything's already doing? Oh, wait, no, they're not. They're getting rid of those systems and going towards airports and better boats and economically safe cars. So if they're doing what we're already been doing, that means the world is just catching up to us. The rest of the world has a higher pollution rate than the United States combined. I mean, it's bad. So if the rest of the world has a 90% pollution rate and we're only 10, why are we adjusting to what the 80 and 90 is? Why should we adjust to them if they're the reason why the world is being polluted? I'll tell you one of the reasons why, because they don't have the advancements in technology that we have. We already have used the advancements in technology. Now they're coming up to our standards. Once the rest of the world comes up to our standards, we will be able to minimize it. Do you know that the entire United States garbage disposal could be put in Delaware or Rhode Island and still have enough left over for the next 100 million years? All the garbage could go into one state. The reason is because we have recycled or better technology for more biodegradable usage. I mean, it's unbelievable. They want us to have more trains but not get rid of the other forms of transportation. No, they want us to get rid of the other forms of transportation. The goal is for us no longer to have cars or to have airplanes, to get rid of any fuel usage. Fossil fuel completely, they want us to get rid of. That's what the new Green Deal is. Plus, Japan has the largest, most efficient train system in relation to all their occupation. They actually said the bullet trains are going under. the capacity of electricity that it takes to use those and the magnetic waves is causing them to have more problems and create more pollution. That's why they also had the problem with not having the safe enough regulations for nuclear power plants, since their problem with their meltdown. It's very fascinating to check out all this stuff. Matter of fact, most of the information is right on YouTube. It really is. It's amazing how much is out there. It boggles my mind that we are the leading nation. We're the only superpower, but yet we need to buckle down to what third world countries are like. It's scary when you really think about it. That's socialism. And that's really bad for this country if we try to even go socialistic. It is the fall of the American empire. Once it happens, there's no coming back. You will see another civil war. Again, we have better technology than that. We won't have the same problem. We won't have the problem like Chernobyl and over there in Japan. It's coal is fine. It is a clean burning fuel or energy. So is diesel. Diesel is one of the cleaner ones. Natural gas. It's all there. They are very clean. Matter of fact, they were said to be cleaner than most. I think we should have more nuclear power plants. We really should. I think we should have more hydroelectricity plants as well. But then again, doing hydroelectricity, you're kind of, you got problems with that too, because you're changing the infrastructure of the land. But you're always going to have a tree hugger that's got a problem with it. See, the problem a lot of people have with nuclear energy is they don't think we have the proper way to dispose of it or reuse it. We do. Matter of fact, we have a carrier called the Enterprise that is ready for retirement, has a nuclear-powered engine. We already know what we can do with that nuclear energy and reuse it. That's the great thing about this country and the advancements of technology. We know what to do with it already. Matter of fact, it's sad to know that New York is getting rid of Indian Point. Indian Point just needs a little touch-up, and it's back to running in grade A performance. But no, we're closing it down. What's the answer to get all the energy that the city needs now? And Rockland County, and Westchester, and parts of Orange, and Putnam, and I think a little bit of Dutchess. We don't have an answer. Why shut something down without the answer? Why do this without the solution? Again, we have advancements in technology to have our fuel burning cleaner and stronger. Same for oil. Why not drill? Why not make it where 90% of the population already uses fossil fuels? Why not make it cheaper for us until we have the other answer? Because the hydroelectronic cars or hybrid cars are not really the answer. The electric cars like Tesla and everything, they're coming to find out that the engines are not all that good or not strong. They're also seeing that it's taking up a lot more energy, waste, and pollution to power up these vehicles too, than versus just fueling up a tank, which is some fossil fuel. It's wave hydropower would be better than hydroelectric. That's what I'm talking about. There's other ways to go about it and do this, but we're still spending too much money on our solar and wind power. They're already at the height of the technology that it can be. It's been like that for well over 20 years. There's not much more that they can do to harness the cell of the solar power. You're right. Again, the world's going to end in 12 years, and it's been said like that for the last 30 years, probably 40, 50 years, okay? Fear of the unknown, people shut down what they fear and not know much more about. Correct, all right? I agree with both points right now, people. I really do. I agree with both.
I will say one thing. I'm getting a little hoarse. I've been on for almost 2 hours now. It's coming to this point that it's sad when us people having a normal vlog, forum open chat can come up with more solutions than the actual government has been coming up with. And again, we need to allow our president to get the House of Representatives back in power and the Senate into his full control so he can push past these initiatives that we need. I know for a fact that Trump has thought and even talked about the wave hydropower. I know for a fact he's talked about refining nuclear energy. All this stuff has been said, but the Democratic power at B does not want this to happen purely for the fact that they just don't want Trump to be the one to get the credit. They don't want his name on it. Marion, I'm with you. I have to go to bed myself. I got to get up at 4 in the morning. So, again, I do agree and I disagree with you at this moment because there are things that can be done. The securing the border has got more than one stance on it, more than one finger to it. We definitely need to secure that because we can stop so many things, including helping out our medical costs. That's something that's not being said by any representative or senator or even most of the time President Trump. It's true. If we go ahead and stop that, we would have much more money medically by not letting these anchor babies get away with it. The anchor babies being delivered in this country, those medical bills should be sent to the country that these people originally arrived from. If Mexico was sitting there charged for every baby, every gunshot wound, every drug, every addict that comes over to our country, to our hospitals, and is taken care of, and they had to fork that bill, they would be the ones coming over and putting a border control over us. Trust me, Mexico would not want to foot that bill. We should be making them foot the bill. We should have been making them foot it since the 90s. Trust me on that. All right, I don't agree with the accord. The states can try and do what they want, but it's not good. It's not going to work. It's the same thing with the sanctuary cities. Sanctuary cities want you to turn around and go ahead and let illegal aliens be here, and they need to be here, and it's okay because it's their right, right? But they don't want them in their cities when Trump says, okay, well, here they are. We're going to put them in your cities, your sanctuary cities. You want the people to have a right to live here and be in America. Here they are. Oh, no, we got too many problems. We can't house them. We can't help them. We got too many problems. Double standard. Double standard. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. Matter of fact, if anything, here, I'm going to say, Trump should not give any funding federally to any city or state that wants to be a sanctuary state or city. Because you obviously can take care of yourselves. You think you can govern yourselves better than what the government is trying to help you with. But the moment a national disaster happens or some type of infrastructure failure happens, what happens? Oh, we need money. Mr. Trump, we need the federal government, we need FEMA, please come in and help us. It's all the same thing. Talking about more local government and us coming up with solutions, though. It starts with the local government's will. It does. Check out any of the videos that I've done. I mean, I know this one's extremely long. Check out any of the videos I've done. You'll see that that's where I say it all starts. It starts with the local government. It starts with the town supervisors, to your local representatives, to your local Senate, to go ahead to the U.S. Senate and the U.S. representatives, right on to the president. It all starts there. Oh, right on. Right on. I think the highway infrastructure needs to be redone. Completely redone. I know you're, well, I don't think you live in New York anymore, last I remember talking to you. If you drive on 17 or the future 86 or 84, the amount of potholes, it's terrible. I can't drive a certain vehicle that I own, a Suburban, on most of those roads because it shakes all over the place, and I have pretty good suspension. That's how bad it is. I mean, it's terrible. I mean, the road needs to be done. Our wires need to be redone. the nuclear power needs to be looked at and keep being used. We can't rely on solar and wind power. It's not enough to go ahead and feed our cities, especially for the amount of people, including having now illegal aliens funnel off the system. There's just not enough. There's not enough. We need to have another thing. There has to be something else out there. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been 2 hours. I've said a lot. I've talked about a lot. We've agreed. We haven't. It's back and forth. I want to appreciate every little bit that's happened tonight. Everybody that's talked with us, thank you so much. Follow me over on YouTube. Like and subscribe to videos. After I'm done with the videos here, I'm going to upload them. Sooner or later, I'm going to be going strictly off of YouTube. So watch for that happening soon. All right? Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you, Jason. And as always, may you spend an hour in heaven before the devil knows you're dead. Good night, everybody. Enjoy. Peace out. God bless America. God bless you.